Before we start this session, let me tell you a little bit about our first speaker. Our first speaker comes from Indonesia. He is an English lecturer who wants to be the master of English and a professional keynote speaker for any international webinar around the world. He's a man full of great makes him feel relevant. Okay, our first speaker has been experiencing as English teacher for more than 10 years and also as an English lecturer for more than 5 years. He has been inviting as a keynote speaker for any international webinar. So, here to share, please welcome Mr. Rudi Salam Sinulinga, MPD from Indonesia.
Yeah. Hello. Wait. I'm checking my laptop.
Okay, Mr. Rudi, it's okay. For Mr. Rudi, you can make your audio more louder, Mr. Rudi.
Yeah. Okay, already maximum, miss. Okay, can you see my slide?
Yes, we can, sir.
Okay, you can, yeah?
Okay, yes, please, sir.
Okay, I make it bigger. Okay, can you see? Okay, right? Okay, good afternoon from Indonesia. Now I will be the first speaker in this international webinar. My topic is designing activities for online learning. Okay, I'm Rudi Salam Sinulinga as an international speaker, motivator, and lecturer. Today we are going to discuss about a nice topic about designing activities for online learning. I think until today or nowadays, COVID-19 pandemic have been affecting all the sides of human life, especially in education system. So we gather here to discuss and then share and learning about how to solve or what is our system or how to apply and how to create our activities creatively in designing and teaching our students in the classroom. Right. Hello, Miss. Am I audible, Miss? Hello.
Okay, yes, Mr. Yes, sir. I think your audio is lower, sir. Maybe you make it louder, sir.
Wait, Miss. Yeah.
Okay, that's all good, sir.
Okay.
We can
Okay.
hear you clearly, sir.
You can
Sorry,
hear.
sir.
The next one is students prefer a choice in how they learn. This is the students' demand. And the second one, significant variations in levels of demands across the student population. And the next one, high levels of demand of improved IT facilities. And as results demonstrated is also this year. And the next one, virtual learning environments to be used in an effective way, particularly for FE students. And the last one, international students, particularly those from countries with highly developed technology, expect ICT in learning in the UK. So actually in this problem, there are many demands from our students. Why? Because there are many problems they face until today because not every country, not every province, not every school has the standard of facilities in the class, or maybe every teacher doesn't have the standard of facilities in teaching their students, especially when the students are at home or maybe sometimes they can go or visit schools sometimes by making an agreement with it. The next one, I took a quote from Douglas Adams. Technology is a verb that describes something that doesn't work yet. Okay, as we know that technology until today has been developing every time there is a new technology product, and every time, every day, every month, and every year, we will have the new technology product. And the next one for models of learning design, I present four. The first one is approach, and the second one experiential learning cycle, and the third one five-stage model, and the last one supporting online interaction. Four of them, I think every day we see or we know how to apply in our daily life, especially we are teachers in this world. I think by sharing and then by teaching together, by cooperating, by enlarging our network, we can search and learn every time. The next one, teaching approach, Massey and the Freighters as 2004 review of a learning framework, models, and the learning models that use the ICT. And the first one, associative transmission model, behaviors, and didactic. And the next one, situative, social learning, social constructivism. And the last one, cognitive experiential learning, problem-based learning, and constructivism. Okay, classroom, get away from idea of
I'm so sorry, Mr. Rudy.
yeah.
Yes, your
Can you
voice
hear?
is still not.
Can you hear me now?
You maybe you can make your microphone like me.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, make it closer, please,
Am I
Mr. Rudy.
audible? Am I audible now?
Okay, yes, sir.
Am I
Okay,
audible? Yes.
yeah, yes,
Okay.
Mr. Rudy. Thank you so much, Mr.
Okay. Can you see my slide, miss? Can you see my
Yes,
slide?
yes, we can, Mr.
Okay. We go to the next stage. A transmissions approach. As you can see my slide in front of you, there are three systems of three parts. The first one, technology, students, and teacher. How to combine? A good teacher must be able to design or to apply technologies projects in the learning process, especially during COVID-19 pandemics. We do our online activities or online class. And then the students also must be able to have technology projects in running the learning process. Technology products, as we know, there are many kinds of applications or many things like by using PowerPoint, video lectures, webinars like we do today, and then online model books, iTunes U, screen capture by using Camtasia of Captivat, and then UniView animated graphics, web, and FLE. Okay, what is FLE? As you know, FLE is a virtual learning environment like we do today. And transmissions approach also, like I see before, teachers, students, and then technology. Technology is a media to help students and the teachers in designing or in running or in developing the learning process during this COVID-19 pandemic. It can be done by using Socrative techniques, Turnitin's, and FLE already explained to me, and then turning points. This is for formative feedback. As we know that every time we can use technology products by using smartphone, laptop, and then projector, by using Zoom applications, Google Meet, and many more. I think those are very basic one for us in designing our learning program. We go to the next slide. Situative approach. There are four parts: teachers, students, technology, and community. Okay, there is a correlation between teacher and students. As we know from the slides, the teacher and the students can be connected by using technology products. And then this environment we call as that community. Digital community, I think that's the best one. We can do by using wikis, Twitter, Facebook, discussions board, video conferencing like we do today, and then peer feedback. So feedback is very important for us in conducting online learning activities. Why? From the feedback result, we know how maximum our techniques in delivering or in teaching our students. By knowing the feedback from our students, we can design to the next stage or to the next activities. Experiential learning. Okay, please look it up this slide. Place students' activities at the core of the learning process and then forms a cycle of activities to consolidate learning effectively. First used by Lewin and based on the engineering concept of feedback called 1984, page 21. Experiential learning is very important for us. We try to create the learning activities, or we try to invite all the students. They will be interested with the learning process. The students will be experienced many things in the classroom, in the online class, and etc. We try to invite all the students feel comfortable, feel happy, motivated when we are discussing each other. As a teacher, we will be a motivator and instruction facilitator and etc. We try to combine all the systems in helping our students to give or to design online learning activities during this COVID-19 pandemic. In Indonesia, especially, I think about the victims or the patients from the COVID-19 pandemic, Leticia, is still a big why, because our governments cannot control the system. It depends on the society or the people of Indonesia. So that is why we need to collaborate each other between the governments and then schools, environments, teachers, parents, and students. Look it up the screen. Experiential learning cycle. I have the cycle like this one. The first one is by making class-based learning. So the class is a place to learn, to get something new from the teachers, especially like we know, everyone can learn wherever they are, from the environments, not only from the schools, wherever we are. We can learn from our friends, from our family, wherever we are, and then from things we face. And the next one, social learning spaces. Look it up here. Concrete experience. Okay, this is the first one. And reflective observations, abstract conceptualization, and active experimentation. So we need that our experience must be the things to become our learning process. By seeing the cycle, I think that both everyone or every participant will know about how to apply those systems in our daily life. You can see the class-based learnings. Every class automatically will be the place for us and for our students to learn more, to get something new. When a student comes to a school, they will get something new, and then they go back home. I think that is the basic one in educational system. Experiential learning cycle started from a concrete experience. So there will be concrete experience when a student makes a project with his or her friends. I think this is a concrete experience. And the next one, tell and concrete experience. What is tell? Tell is technology enhanced learning. As we know, uh, online learning activities cannot be separated with technologies, because technology's product is the media to connect between a teacher and the students. Can tell provide concrete experience? That is the question. Okay, please type. Can tell provide concrete experience? You can type at the chat box, in the chat box. Come on, go on. Okay, every participant, I question you. Can tell provide concrete experience? A tell is technology enhanced learning. Okay, that is my question. Can tell or TEL provide concrete experience? Okay, it depends on you. Whatever your answer, I think as you are a teacher, I will know that technology during this COVID-19 pandemic cannot be separated with your environment or your educational system or learning process. And the second one, you can find what form can they take? Okay, this is my next question. What form can they take? Is it simulation, remote and virtual laboratories, game-like environments, web-based scenarios, role play, virtual world? Okay, I need your answer. Please type in the chat box. What form can they take? Go on. Okay, I wait for your answer. Okay, next we go to the next slide. Okay, you already answered. This is an example of learning activities by applying online learning. So, uh, according to my experience, okay, games can help students to study something. like learning math, language, like by English for English teacher, English conversations can be done by using games. And also for ICT or computer teacher, every time computer teacher tries to teach all the students by making or by creating video, as you can see from the slide. And also at the screen, you can also see that these things, okay, by applying technologies products, every teacher, every student will be able to design online learning activities based on the student's needs. So if we know the students' needs, we can design the learning activities according to the material based on the curriculum made by our government. So every material can be taught to our students by maximizing all the systems from the ICT products. Look it up here. This is a school's environment by creating a creative classroom activities like in the kindergarten, by making like this one, by applying the online system in the learning programs, every student and then teacher will be comfortable in learning or in the teaching process. Look it up also the next slide. Every person tries to become more creative. Why? Because by making or by becoming a creative people or creative persons, we can design based on our friends needs, based on our students needs. It can be combined by using some applications, some media in delivering our materials during this COVID-19 pandemic. So the subject or the material can be distributed, can be delivered well to our students. The next one, experiential learning cycle. Look it up here. This is reflective observation. So after doing learning online, we must be able to take the reflections. We take the observation. In detail and reflective observation, we will see supporting students' reflections on learning. The first one, reflections in action. Okay, we need reflection in action by tweeting. Sometimes we can apply by using Twitter. It can be used as the media to learn something during this COVID-19 pandemic and also when we do online learning. The second one, reflections on action, we can do by using blogger, social media like Facebook, Instagram, and etc.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Rudy.
Yes.
Iya.
Can you
The
hear
voice
me?
is still not clear, Mr. Rudy.
My voice.
Your voice more louder, more.
Okay.
Yes, sir. It's
Am I
not
audible? Am I audible?
no audible, Mr. So
Already,
please,
miss?
yes,
Already,
yeah, maybe because we
already,
come
miss?
from different countries, so yeah.
Already, miss?
Okay, sir, you can
Am I
continue, sir.
audible? Am I audible?
Not yet, sir.
Am I audible like this one?
Oh, okay, I think it's better, sir, than before, sir.
Okay, and then I put off my
Okay.
handsets. Okay. Tell and
Okay,
reflect
Mr.
observation. The first one, supporting students' reflections on the learning by having reflections in actions. Every teacher and every student can do tweeting. So Twitter as a platform of social media can be used or can be applied by the students and then the teachers. And the second one, reflections on actions. We can do a blogger or blog, social media like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and many more. Those are very important for us in doing the reflections on actions. And the next one, reflections in collaborations. Collaboration is one of the essence of 21st century skills. By doing collaborations, every student try to collaborate each other. They can discuss, they can solve the problems by to take the solutions to solve the problem. That is the essence of 21st century systems. And then blogging communities, we invite all the students to become more creative by doing blogging and etc, by joining blogging communities and etc. The next one, reflection synchronously by doing video conference like we do today, like we do nowadays, by having Skype, collaborate, chat rooms, virtual worlds, and etc. We are conscious that technologies already affect our life. it has been affecting all the sides in our environments, I think, around the globe. We cannot be separated with technologies. Why? Because we must be able to follow all the change positively in our environment. So there will be creativity, there will be the development in our life. So it can help us to more creative. And the next one, this is an example of the streaming theater. We can do it in the classroom, especially by having online class. We have theater. Sometimes we can invite our students. There are many applications we can download from the Play Store, from the Apple, and etc. And this is also a community between the teacher and the students. This is one of the example. We try to more creative. During this COVID-19 pandemics, the only one for us is becoming creative or creativity. Our creativity depends on our ability in designing, in the deliverings, in communicating, and etc. Those can be combined to become our classroom more creative and interesting for our students. And I think every participant here has Facebook accounts. Especially, I think sometimes we have more than one accounts on the Facebook. So Facebook groups, Facebook Live, or maybe everything we can post. My experience when I taught my students, I try to invite them to record the video related to the topics, and then they can post on their Facebook, so they can take my name, and their friends or their families will know how far their English ability by having this system. Every students, for the first ones, I think they are not interested. Why? Because their family will know their English ability. But I think as a good friends, we not only have to give the criticism, but have to support each other by giving the positive input. I think we can develop our ability related to my major, because I'm an English lecturer. So I use all the social media accounts by motivating, by inviting all my students to have an account related to our topics. And the next one, abstract conceptualizations. As we know, three parts. There are classroom-based learning, mobile learnings, and social learning stages. We are going to the abstract conceptualizations. Let's see. Online abstract conceptualizations. Students explore their concept further. Every student must be able to have a concept. When the students comes from their homes, okay, they will have the concept, how to do the project, how to solve the problem, draw parallel, and fill in from other materials. We can do by having video lectures in YouTube, iTunes. In Indonesia also, every teacher try to design or to make a video, and then they post on YouTube. All the students, they send to the WhatsApp groups, Google Classroom, and the students try to look it up or to take a look YouTube channel. The next one, lecture capture Camtasia. This is an application that can be used by all the teachers in designing online learning activities creatively. And by having podcast, Audacity, okay, podcast for creative person, for a content creator, by making podcasts, I think this is a very positive one to help us in designing our online activities related to ICT. The next one, websites or e-journals. This is like e-journals, I think, for university students. They will have journals every time, every semester, or maybe every 3 months, and etc. The next one is access to materials on website, Uniview synthesizing and ideas, and mind maps. So online abstract conceptualizations. The first one, we try to invite our students to have concept, because everything can be done, can be realized for the first time is by having concept. We have the concept and then realize it and then do it and then innovate and etc. So everything started from a concept. Active experimentations. This is active experimentations. I try to explain TEL and active experimentation. Students consolidate their learning through creating artifacts and making meaning. How to make? The first one is by writing down. by making the concept, by writing the concept. After they have the concepts, they can record by making video productions. I think this system, this way is not very easy. Why? Because sometimes we are going to repeat. We record and then there is a problem. Sometimes we are confused and etc. Sometimes there is a something and then the match us, our environments and etc. So the first one is by having an artifact before doing video productions. And the next one is YKs. This is also an application that can be used by the students in running the system of learning. A portfolio, Pebble Pad. This is one of the applications that can you download from the Play Store. So the last one is presentations, PowerPoint and Prezi. So 4 of them actually can be done, can be applied in the learning process. So every learning process can be run well between the teachers and the students. Sometimes a teacher can be a receptor, sometimes can be a sender, and the next one as students can be sometimes as a sender, can be sometimes as a receiver. It depends on the system. If a students try to submit their projects, for example, video conference, or maybe they make a video, it means the teachers must be able to become a good receptor, to listen, to know more, to see all the videos sent by all the students. And this is revised Bloom's taxonomy. Started from remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, and evaluating. So we are going one by one. In this slides, you can see all the words, all the system from remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. We will recognize all the words. In remembering, recognizing, slide, instinct, describing, identifying, and etc. And understanding, interpreting, summarizing, inferring paragraph, and etc. And apply, implementing, carrying out. That's the keyword for all the systems. And then for analyzing, comparing, organizing, the constructions, and etc. Evaluating, you can see checking, hypothesizing, and then criticizing, and the last one, creating, designing, constructing, planning, etc. I will explain one by one clearly. Let's start. Remembering, this is a bullet pointing, highlighting, bookmark, social bookmark, favoriting, local bookmarking, searching, and Googling. However, if we remember some things, we can try to search from the internet by Googling, etc. So all the materials, all the knowledge we can save, we can apply in our daily life. And the next one is understanding. Advanced searches. Try to become a searcher. Boolean search, blogging, tweeting, categorizing, commenting, annotating, and subscribing. This is by having good understanding. We can have advanced search. By having good understanding, we will know everything in our life. So, and then we can see all the knowledge that taken from many people. And applying, this is the systems, how to run, loading, playing, operating, hacking, and uploading, sharing, editing. We, after understanding, we try to apply. Because like this one, never apply something before understanding deeply about the concept. And the next one, analyzing, matching, linking, taking, validating, reverse engineering, and correcting. So we must be able to become an analytical person. Why? Before applying some things, the first one is we must be analytical. Why? Before doing something, we must be able to become a critical person. And the next one, after analyzing, we try to evaluate things. You can see by blog commenting, reviewing, posting, moderating, collaborating, networking, refactoring, alpha and beta testing. So by having all the commands, by having all the reviews taken from, accepted from our friends, from our teacher, from our family, we try to evaluate which one is the best, which one is the bigger one, which one is the effective one, and many more. And the last one is creating. After understanding all the systems, we try to create by making animations, blogging, video vlogging, mixing, remixing, or writing, publishing, video casting, podcasting, directing, producing. So a good person is a person that can create. So technology products is create time and time, from year after year, from month after month. So I think That is our responsibility to more creative in our daily life. Okay, this is one of the examples of the digital system in the learning programs. Okay, it can be done by 3D or maybe by doing online learning system in our environments. And the next one, I think a little bit, okay, to finish, experiential learning cycle. This is started from reflecting, abstracting, active experimentations, and then concrete experience. Let's see, devices and platforms, okay? Every teacher, I think, at least have not one of devices and platforms in designing the learning online. Class-based learning advantage and control text can take aside time to ensure it takes place. So, like I said before, class-based learning, we must be able to design our class as a place to learn for our students. Social learning, we can use the group spaces in the lungs and soon the center of students' life. We can use in the WhatsApp groups, in the Facebook groups, in the community, and etc. It can be done offline and online, but nowadays, because we run online system, it means we try to create all the communities digitally. And the last one, mobile learning. Activities can take place anywhere. Personal devices give students more ownership of learning process. According to my experience, when I on the way, and then I teach my students, when I am on the car, I teach my students. Why? Because everything is easy. If we have smartphone, if we have laptop and the connection is good, trust me, every material, every learning process can do online. So online learning systems give us easiness, how to deliver, how to communicate with many people, especially with our students during this COVID-19 pandemic. And look it up here, social learning areas belong. We try to create, we try to design, so every people or every person will be interested, will be comfortable wherever they are. So this is the example of the lungs social learning areas. But during this COVID-19 pandemic, we try to join like in the on the WhatsApp groups and then a Zoom conference, a Google Meet, and etc. and many more. And mobile learning, wherever we are, we can apply mobile learning. Study calendars, e-books, learning resources, online modules, annotation tools, mind mapping tools, communication mechanism. So in the mobile learning system, we make the easy things, okay? So every person will be interested in joining our class. Okay, let's see. And also this is one of the example, like the situations on the streets, that this is one of the example of mobile learning activities. So wherever you are, when you are on the way, when you are on the in the conference, you can do your class during this COVID-19 pandemic or by doing online system. And the last one, this is my experience, and I take from many sources and then design these slides. So before do this one or before present this one, I reviews and then I edit, so it will become better after finishing my slides. Okay, I think that's all for my presentations. I say thank you and back to our moderator.
Wow, that's such a great presentation from Mr. Rudy. Okay, now for all of us here, for all the participants, we have listened to Mr. Rudy's presentation. So now we are going to go to question and answer session. So you can write your question on the chat box, and for your information, we limit only 3 questions that will be answered by our speaker. So I will choose 3 most relevant questions from the chat box, and you can start to write your question now on the chat box. Thank you very much. Question is, could you please explain once more again about experiential learning cycle? Experiential learning cycle, sir.
Okay, experimental learning cycle.
Yes, okay.
Okay, back to the topic, experimental learning cycle. Before understandings about the terms, the first one is by knowing the terms, right? What is experiential learning? And then go to the cycle. Experiential learning is engaged learning process whereby the students learn by doing. Okay, that is the keyword. And then by reflecting on the experimental, or we also can say that experiential learning is an opportunity for students to engage, okay, interactions, and then intellectually, and then creatively, enhancedly, and socially or physically. And how to explain the first one by looking the cycle, the slides. Okay, look it up in the middle. We have three aspects. The first one is classroom-based learning. Classroom-based learning, it means all the classrooms must be able to make as a place to learn. So classroom must be able to decide where the students tries to get something new from the classrooms or related to the teachers or the materials delivered by the teachers. And the next one is mobile learning. In the classroom learning, by doing digital system or online learning activities during this COVID-19 pandemic, it means that we have the mobile system, we have the connections, we have the media. We can use the internet as the most important aspects, and then we have for example, an application like we do today, like Zoom application. This is a media to make the mobile learning. And the second one is social learning spaces. Okay, social learning spaces, it means we try to create the space as the social place when all the people will be comfortable in doing communication and etc. Let's see the cycle. The first one is reflective observations. It means before we do something, the first one is by doing an observations. This is we say as a reflective. So before doing something, we do an observations. Before you teach your students, you must be able to observe what is their needs, what is the problem, and etc. Okay, going to the next cycle. Abstract conceptualizations. After doing the observations, we make the concepts. Okay, these concepts can be done by writing down, okay, by doing the advantage and then disadvantage and many more. So we already go to the second session or second cycle. And the third cycle is experimentations, active experimentation. If they already have the abstract or the concept, they go to the next stage, they will be able to experience. So we say as an experimentation, after having the concept, they do or they experience. And the last one is after doing the experimentations, the students or in the online learning system, they will have concrete experience. It means there is no experience before doing something, right? There's no experience before doing something. So our experience sometimes, okay, can be experienced by doing some things with our friends, with our family, and etc. So experimentations, it means generally something we already experienced. We call as an experience. I think those are the cycle of experimental learning. So I think we try to invite all the students must be able to experience. It means by creating classroom activities, it means we try to invite all the students that will be comfortable by doing the four of the cycles. I think that's all about my explanations about the experimental learning cycle. Hopefully you can get it.
Wow, that's very good explanation. That's a clear explanation from Mr. Rudy that we can get from his explanation. We have to make a concept before we doing something.
Yes, something. Okay, the first one we have the concept. Never do something before having the concept. If you have no concept, it means you cannot run something else.
Okay, thank you, sir. It will hope it will help us on our teaching and learning daily activity. So before we teach in the classroom, we make the concept first to succeed.
For teachers, by having a lesson plan, right?
Yes.
For teachers, by having a lesson plan, what should you teach? What will be your materials? How to teach? How about the time durations? How about the assessment, etc. So those are the concepts.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So now we are going to the second question from Mr. or Madam Habis Babar Hussein. I think this question needs tips, maybe. As students are different groups, how they can be handled in virtual classroom. maybe tips to handle the students in virtual classroom, sir, based on your experience. Maybe you can share your
Okay.
experience.
Thank you for questioning me. I think this is not only the theory, but until now, I handle online learning. Okay, I handle online classes. So what are the tips? I think it is not very much, or maybe I just give you a little bit of the tips. The first one is by making good communications with your students. Okay, that is the keywords. If your students have like you, or your students like you, whatever you will be teaching to them, I think they will be interested. That is the keyword. And the next one is by knowing your students' conditions. If you know the students' conditions, you can design your materials. Sometimes I can teach online learnings. I give one method, I think, so it cannot run well. So how to solve the problem? I need another method. And the next one is, if you do the presentations by using PowerPoint, the first one is by designing creatively your slides, not only into Microsoft Words. Trust me, they will be bored. If you design your materials, if you do online learnings or handle online learning, and all the slides full of the words or full of the sentences, full of the words, I think the online learning system cannot run well. So by creativity, by having creativity. And the next one, also by having Zoom applications, sometimes we need more creativity. For example, if you teach kindergarten, or no, kindergarten is not very effective to teach online. Oh, okay, primary, okay, they like video and then colors. Can you imagine that your materials, also your presentations, okay, in your slides, okay, only white and black. You teach about fruits. The color of the apple is red, but your slides, the color of the apple is black. So I think it's not very interesting for your students. And also, if you try to combine into the techniques, you can use many applications and then combine into Zoom applications. So because this is a webinar, I don't use my tab. Okay, sometimes I connect my tab and then I can write whatever I write and then connect it to the Zoom. So those are the tips. This is not only theories, but I have done it, miss or sir. So the first one, I think this is about communications. If you have had a good communication between you and your student, trust me. And the second one, by designing, and then by giving creativity, keep smiling, and etc. I think that those are the keywords to teach online creatively. I think that's all about my experience. I take from my experience. Okay, sir. Back to Madam Hadayana.
Yes.
About my answers, sirs, from the questions presented before.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Rudy. From this presentation, I'm as a moderator conclude that a good teacher must be able to use technology to prepare interesting teaching element based on students' need. And the main point, I think, from this presentation is everything must be started by a concept. Okay, thank you very much for sharing your expertise, Sir Rudy Salam Sinulinga.